Nobody knows you. I got banks. Activate chili bank. Holy hell. There's somebody. I had to check my cash app. I logged off. Whoever's watching, I logged off to check my cash app to see if I got anything else. It's hard to believe I've been on here for like 3 hours and the one person told me to play a song and that was it. But I've only made $5 out of this whole telethon. Oh, I should probably lay down. Oh, great, I got the hiccups. Oh, how lovely. Oh, I got the hiccups. And I'm tired. And that hiccup just hurt my ear. Loud. Ugh. I'm so tired now. There's poor people. But, my God, that chili. Who landed chili? I have to figure out how the hell I'm gonna. I'll probably put the entire can in the freezer. I can't do that because my freezer's full. Yeah, looks like I'm gonna have to eat some chili after I wake up from a food coma that the chili put me in. It's Chase versus Chili. Ooh. The chili scores the knockout. Chili for the champion. Champion for the chili. You got peanut butter on my chocolate. You got chocolate on my peanut butter. Reese's peanut butter cups. God, I'm getting slapped happy. Staying up fighting to sleep. Happy birthday. Muddled off. Ah. Can't get rid of belly fat? Stress raises cortisol. Cortisol increases belly fat. Relacor helps reduce cortisol. You need Relacor. What was that? Stress raises cortisol. Cortisol increases belly fat. Relacor helps reduce cortisol. You need Relacor. Relacor Extra, America's favorite belly fat pill. Available at smart retailers nationwide or visit Relacor.com. That's Relacor.com. I'm doing a Relacor commercial. Yay! Oh, I don't know what I would do. Well, probably I would find it, but it would be in by cake, cheesecake. I miss this one.
Why did your last diet fail?
Stress raises cortisol. Cortisol increases belly fat.
Relicor helps reduce cortisol. You need Relicor.
Order Relicor risk-free. Call 1-800.
Cortisol. Cortisol increases belly fat. Relicor helps reduce cortisol. You need Relicor. Stress raises cortisol. Cortisol increases belly fat. Relicor helps reduce cortisol. You need Relicor. Stress raises cortisol. Cortisol increases belly fat. Relicor helps reduce cortisol. You need Relicor. Relicor Extra, America's favorite belly fat pill. Available at smarter retailers nationwide or visit Relicor.com. Ah. Yeah, I'm sitting here watching Relicor commercials.
If you're over 30,
I'm watching Relicor commercials. Yeah.
you've got excess body fat.
Why am I watching the Relicor commercials? I'm literally looking at Relicor commercials.
Cortisol, a nasty little stress hormone that traps excess fat around the middle. But now there's Relacor.
Relicor Extra.
Stubborn belly fat. Fat. If you're dieting and still plagued by unsightly belly folds, even if you're low-carb dieting,
Relicor.
there's one Relacor. Relacor helps you get thinner, look younger, and have energy to burn. Remember, when you're over 30, overstressed, and want to get rid of stubborn belly fat, the answer is Relacor. Order Relacor now.
I'm watching Relicor.
Relicor risk-free. Call 1-800-310-1713.
I'm watching Relicor commercials.
13. Call now. It's guaranteed.
I'm literally looking up all the Relicor commercials. They don't have enough Relicor commercials. Why don't they have Relicor? Why am I worried about Relicor? I don't even need Relicor. I just want Relicor.
Are you one of...
Why am I obsessing over Relicor?
Hey y'all, this is your girl, Queen Big 22. Welcome back to my channel. Y'all know I'm going to
What's she got to do with it? Yeah, we got good.
This video is about what I do, what I've been taking, what my diet, so you only can take this.
Oh, she ain't doing no. What she got to do with it? Now I want to see the Relicor commercial. I want to see somebody talk about Relicor. Whoa, well there was a new Relicor girl. Where are you? I want the new. Why am I being in the services? With New Lady 2006.
Why did your last diet fail?
The problem is cortisol, a nasty little stress hormone that traps excess fat around the middle. But now there's Relicor. Relicor helps control cortisol and helps us lose stubborn belly fat fast. Remember, when you're over 30,
I have a strange obsession with this Relic commercial, but I can't find the original one. I missed the original one. That was so catchy.
Order Relicor now. It's easy.
Why can't I find the original? I want the original. You know, can't get rid of belly fat. Stress raises cortisol. Cortisol increases belly fat. Relicor helps reduce cortisol. You need Relicor. What was that? Stress raises cortisol. Cortisol increases belly fat. Relicor helps reduce cortisol. You need Relicor. One more time. Stress raises cortisol. Cortisol increases belly fat. Relicor helps reduce cortisol. You need Relicor. Relicor Extra, America's favorite belly fat pill. Available at smarter retailers nationwide or visit Relicor.com. That's Relicor.com. God damn, I'm obsessed with that commercial. I mean, here's the. I mean, all they have it is on like this thing. That was it. That was the commercial, but it's such a bootleg version. Mm. Hey, there's me doing the Relicor commercial. About 9 years ago. Can't get rid of belly fat? Stress raises cortisol. Cortisol increases belly fat. Relicor helps reduce cortisol. You need Relicor. What was that? Stress raises cortisol. Cortisol increases belly fat. Relicor helps reduce cortisol. You need Relicor. One more time. Stress raises cortisol. Cortisol increases belly fat. Relicor helps reduce cortisol. You need Relicor. Relicor Extra, America's favorite belly fat pill. Available at smarter retailers nationwide or visit Relicor.com. That's Relicor.com. Can't get rid of belly fat? How the hell did I forget that I did a Relicor commercial? What the hell is with me and Relicor? Oh, you gotta be fucking me, right? I did one 3 years ago? And another one 9 years. What the hell is my... Oh, God damn it.
Why did your last diet?
This is crazy. Can't get rid of belly fat. Stress raises cortisol. Cortisol increases belly fat. Relicor helps reduce cortisol. You need Relicor. What was that? Stress raises cortisol. Cortisol increases belly fat. Relicor helps reduce cortisol. You need Relicor. One more time. Stress raises cortisol. Cortisol increases belly fat. Relicor helps reduce cortisol. You need Relicor. Relicor Extra, America's favorite belly fat pill. Available at smarter retailers nationwide and visit Relicor. Oh, you gotta be crazy. That's on the Horny Homemaker. Oh, that's fuckery. I did that on this channel a long time ago. Why do I do? Get rid of the belly fat. Stress raises cortisol. Cortisol increases belly fat. Relicor helps reduce cortisol. You need Relicor. What was that? Stress raises cortisol. Cortisol increases belly fat. Relicor helps reduce cortisol. You need Relicor. One more time. Stress raises cortisol. Cortisol increases belly fat. Relicor helps reduce cortisol. You need Relicor. Relicor Extra, America's favorite belly fat pill. Available at smarter retailers nationwide or visit Relicor.com. That's Relicor.com. Oh my God, I need a therapist. I am obsessed with Relicor. Fuck. What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm obsessed with Relicore. Hell, I'm about done. I did Relicore commercials. What the fuck? Anything I didn't do besides pussy? Mm. I don't believe that shit. Uh, I did about 4 Relicore commercials in 4 separate channels. Oh my god, I'm hard. I don't know what. Something seriously wrong with me. I'm all that gung ho over a fucking weight loss pill when I'm a bean pull myself. Ain't that some shit? Ain't it some shit? It's some shit. Oh god, I don't want to smoke a bowl. Mm. I can't believe I'm that upset. That is just deeply disturbing. Why would I be broadcasting a commercial about Relicore? I should have kept that little fascination to myself, but oh my god. Oh my god. To find out that I did all those commercials for Relicore? Yeesh. Yeah, something. I ain't playing with a full deck up there. Uh-uh. Huh. Fucking Relicore. Goddamn Relicore. Ah, motherfucker. I'm obsessed with those goddamn pill that I never take or need. Yeah. How the hell am I doing it? Oh, God. I'm trying to raise money. I've only raised $5 and I'm obsessed with the Relicore. Hell. I might actually continue this live stream, but sleep through it a little bit. Um, hell, if I get, like, if I wake up and there's some donations, though, that'd be nice. Um, but I'm not stopping. I mean, I might stop the live stream to check my Cash App, and then restart the thing, like restart the whole thing. But if I'm gonna go to sleep, I'm gonna go to sleep because I'm tired. And like I said, I've been doing this live stream not consistently because I've stopped to check my Cash App and stuff. But I did watch the commercial. I'm like tired, and but I will. This live stream will be going on while I sleep because I promised you guys. I promised myself I'm not going to stop this live stream till I get $650. So, um, I've been doing this for like 3.5 hours now. It's 8 o'clock. So, I am going to lay down after I turn the air off. That's what I do. I keep the air on all day, and I've got $5 from this whole live stream. It's been 3.5 hours. I thought people would be paying me to do this, that, and the other, but I'm about to take this. I don't know. I am tired. About to take the food with me and go take a piss. But now I'm gonna plug my phone in right now and go to the bathroom. Turn the air. Um, I'm gonna turn the air off, and then I'm gonna hit the sheets. I can't sleep. Well, I'll be doing this while I sleep too, so it's gonna be like around the clock until I get $650. So it doesn't matter what I'm doing at this point. I'm gonna try and stay up a little bit, I think. Um, but I am fading quickly. So, even though I might fall asleep, this is gonna keep going. That tea really didn't do much when I had that chili, so, uh, I'd like this to be able to have a view of my bed so that you can at least see my sleeping body. Hey, I do talk in my sleep, so. Edited Sears commercial. What Sears commercial? Well, I mean, I'm entertaining in my sleep too because people who have slept with me, like actually slept with me, have heard me say the most bizarre of things. So there's no telling what's going to be said in my sleep. I may reveal some deep dark shit about myself that I wouldn't be saying if I was awake. So it might be more entertaining to watch me sleep and wait for those things to be said. Because I do talk a lot in my sleep. I've done that ever since I can remember. My mother would be waking me up for school, and when I was about 5 years old, and I'd be saying some shit. Sears commercial. Well, what's the Sears commercial? Because I'll watch it. Is it a squirrel commercial? Sears air conditioning commercial. Okay. A 17 seconds. Let's see what this is.
I could not live another day without air conditioning.
Says tomorrow's gonna be hotter.
Hotter?
Like yesterday.
Yesterday? But yesterday you said you'd call Sears.
I'll call today.
You call now.
I'll call now. Now's the time to say how Sears installed second air conditioning.
That was fucked up. That was so fucked up.
I could not live another day without air conditioning.
Says tomorrow's gonna be hotter.
Hotter?
Like yesterday.
Yesterday? But yesterday you said you'd call Sears.
I'll call today.
You call now.
I'll call now. Now's the time.
That reminds me of the Folgers cup. They had fucked with this Folgers commercial like big time. Oh my god, it was fucking wild. Oh my god, here it is.
I must have the wrong house.
Sister? Oh, I missed you so much. They waited up all night for you, you know.
It's a long way from West Africa. Oh, coffee.
He's here.
I brought you something from far away.
Really? Oh.
What are you doing?
You're my present this year. See? I smelled it. He's back.
Ryan, you have to leave.
What? Well, what are you guys talking about? We know what's going on here. We know you're trying to each other.
Just don't look at each other like that.
I sent you to West Africa for a reason, Ryan. To separate you and your sister.
You're crazy! Oh, yeah? What's this?
He's my present this year.
Jesus Christ. Love with your daughter.
Ryan, what is it in the box?
What's in the box? Unbelievable. I thought we have so much in common. I just wake up every morning to smell you and dark roast.
Oh shit.
Have you ever correctly had a gut?
Oh my god. Wow, I love that commercial. Oh shit. No, I'm so tired. Oh, my stomach hurts. The only difference now is that my stomach. Now I'm tired and my stomach hurts. Woke up the fortress. Hell, I do have. I mean, I'm gonna be doing this until I reach $650. Okay, so if I'm not like if I don't reach it today, you know, I'm not gonna be awake for like 24 hours. Just, but like a donation unit there. So that's why I said I will be asleep for some of this. The live stream's gonna keep going until I reach that financial goal, and if it means me just doing about my day and just keeping this live stream going, then I'll go to the grocery store. I'll start going to the grocery store and leaving my phone here and go to, you know, go to certain events, this, that, and the other. But I'll be sleeping. I'll be going about my day like nothing's going on until like I see like somebody telling me to do something, dance for you know. But PayPal, I don't know if it's my PayPal is suspended or not, but my Venmo is. You didn't need to do that. If you're struggling, you don't need to send. I mean, hell, if you're struggling, and but I know what it's like. You know, I'm sitting here doing a live stream that I'm refusing to end until I get like the financial shit done. And ideally, I just wanna. Do you like the other? What the fuck is that writing on my? Oh, never mind. That's a goddamn wooden plaque that I hung up. Oh, bitch. I really am tired. That thing on the wall that says love right there. I thought that was writing. It's a wooden declaration I hung up. Mm. You sent them a 69-cent payment. Yeah, I would do the same thing. And if they ask for more, you should tell them to dig it out of their asshole because it's not in yours. And then AT&T, that's some bullshit right there. I couldn't access my account, so I had to switch to Spectrum. I can't even. Oh God, it's ridiculous. You know, the government needs to give Social Security beneficiaries more than what they give them, or at least give them like two separate accounts. One for paying their bills, which will be like 900, and then like another 900 for spending what they want on. Whatever they want. I don't know. Happy Herman, hello. I'm probably going to bed soon because I'm like tired. I've been fighting a food coma, like fighting. It's been one hell of a battle between me and the chili, but the chili's about to take over as soon as my best. Oh, I got the shower. How the fuck why did I turn the shower on? I really am tired. Yeah, I probably should sleep. I'm gonna try and prop this phone up like to where it can see the bed. Yeah, and that maybe that'll work. Um, almost 20 home. Oh. Some more Reddit stories on that. But yeah. Ah, yeah. Now I'm still doing my live stream. Like I said, I'm not stopping till I get $650. I'm just going about my day, and when I see somebody telling me to do something, I'll do it. Or, oh, turn this down too. My favorite movie.
Oh my God. The old cockers in the stands are better than the young cockers on the field. You just missed someone in the crowd. What crowd? We could all go home in one car. Maybe you should lay down a bunt. This guy couldn't lay down a carpet. Now he's over swinging. Don't complain, at least he's cooling off the place. Did you miss New York, huh? Well, what was I gonna do? They sold a paper to an Australian. Lucky for me, they didn't sell it to the Japanese. It would take me a year to read the bag out.
Buster,
Oh, hi, Peaches.
I'm having a dinner party Friday night. We're short one man.
How about Abe here? He's a short man.
You can run, Oscar, but you can't hide. See ya.
Oh, that's such an original expression. I hate a woman who talks like Muhammad Ali. Hey, Conchita.
Lost today, eh, Oscar?
Yeah, I'm suicidal, honey. If I call 911 tonight, any chance of mouth to mouth?
Ay, tú eres un viejo bien loco.
Yeah, Mr. Loco. What's the matter? Don't you look at a good ass anymore? I'm not allowed to look at pastrami. Why should I look at an ass? You coming to the game tonight, Abe? I'll be a little late. I have to pay my respects. A friend in my building died. Oh, sorry to hear that. What did he die of?
He got hit by lightning on a golf course.
He should have been using his woods. Find out what his rent was. I'm always looking for cheap. To make that shit. Damn it, Madison! My wife and I are fed up with this. I'm filing a complaint. Are you going to clean this up? Absolutely. Whatever the cats don't finish, I'll clean up later. I'm in. Nobody bet. Hold the bets. I got a raise coming. How we doing, girls?
Everybody's in except Esther.
Esther, you didn't make it straight?
Well, who knows? I can't see the numbers. Why can't we play with those great big cards?
We tried that once. Every time I shuffled, Abe's toupee blew off.
Not anymore. This is the kind you can swim in.
Be careful, Abe. You swim with that run. They'll think you're building a dam. It's the Eggerman's lemon loaf cake. No cholesterol, no fat, no taste.
That's mine.
1 plate of chemical sponge cake for Millie.
Thanks, darling.
You're welcome. Wanda, you vixen, you know how that perfume drives me crazy.
You really like it?
Yeah. Also, I see I got you beat.
Oh, he always does that to me.
Don't worry about it. Listen, I lost so many brain cells today, I forgot what I just saw.
He's just like my third husband. He should rest in peace.
How do you know he's dead? Maybe he's just bluffing. Salt-free nachos with cottage cheese chili.
Oh, that's mine, Oscar.
1 Jenny Craig Mexican-style type of casserole dinner for Senorita Abramowitz. And we have a cherry soda for Abe. What happened to Abe? Where's Abe?
Here,
Oh, why'd you sit on the magazine? I can't see it.
this isn't cherry. It's lemon.
Now it's cherry.
Well, Millie raised a quarter, so it's 33 cents for you.
33 cents. You need nerves of steel for this game. I'm in. Let me
Can we come in and talk a little
All right. Whoever it is, I'll pay you on Thursday. Sound good, Pop. Rosie boy chick, how are you? What are you doing? Hold it down, will you, girls? It's my son from California.
California. My sister lost 3 pairs of dentures in the earthquakes. How does she eat? She sends out.
You too, Pussy. You still an actor?
Still an actor. Hey, I got a call from CBS. I'm making a pilot this week.
Hey, that's terrific. My kid may get a pilot.
He got his own plane.
You don't know what a pilot is? It's a television show that doesn't get on television.
Pop, that's not what I'm calling. I got some big news for you. I'm getting married this week.
Married? Why?
Because I love her. That's why.
You didn't say it was a girl. If you're happy, I'm happy. My kid is getting married.
Whose daughter? Whose?
It's this Sunday afternoon, Pop. Think you can come?
Why wild race horses couldn't keep me away. Where is it?
It's at her mother's house in San Molina.
San Baloney? What was the name of it?
San Molina. It's about 2 hours north of LA. I'll send you the address.
Okay, listen, if I'm not being too nosy, sweetheart, who the hell are you marrying?
She's an actress, Bob. She's beautiful. She's so talented. She's very smart.
And she loves your son, and I
Do you
just
see what I mean?
I love her already. So who is she?
Well, hold on to your hat, Bob.
I need a hat to hold on to hear this? She's not one of those 6'10" basketball players, is she?
As long as she's thin.
I can't hear you. She's whose daughter? Whose? Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Miss? Excuse me. Excuse me. I wonder if I might change my seat into the non-smoking section.
Oh, well, the entire plane is not smoking, sir. There's no one smoking on this aircraft.
I understand, but possibly the attendants who cleaned the planes at the airport were smoking while they were in here. I'm very sensitive to that.
Well, I'm sorry, sir, but the entire plane is full.
Yeah, well... ma'am, see, it's not just the smoke. The woman next to me is wearing a perfume that I have a definite allergy to.
Well, I've already moved you once.
Yeah, no, that was because of hairspray. Now look, I know that I sound crazy, but I just happen to be one of those hyperallergenic cases. Can't you at least try?
You mean sniff every woman on this plane until you find a perfume you're not allergic to?
I didn't complain about the food, did I? I didn't eat it, but I didn't complain about it.
You asked for the Hawaiian mahi-mahi, and I told you that we only serve the mahi-mahi on the west-to-east flights, not the east-to-west flights.
I just thought there might be one piece of mahi-mahi making the return trip, that's all. Just forget it, I'll manage.
I have some cough lozenges if you like.
Oh, that's sweet, thank you. No, I have an unusually small windpipe. If it gets stuck, I can be dead in 2 minutes.
Are you having trouble breathing?
I'm nervous because my daughter's getting married Sunday
Oh.
in California.
Oh.
You know, in San, the one I got a friend picking me up.
Oh. Are you all right? Your face is turning bluish. Do you need oxygen?
Oh, yeah, but you never know who's been using that before.
Stewardess!
Excuse me. Ah, I see my bag. Excuse me, please. What happened here? What do you call this? This is mishandling of luggage. It's a federal misdemeanor. Did you see this?
Oscar?
Felix?
Oscar! We haven't even said hello, and I've got a broken leg.
Not broken, it's just a sprain. Hello, Felix.
Let me know when you're gonna hit a bump.
Okay, that was a bump. Here you go, Felix. There you are, all set.
Yeah. Hey, maybe we can stop and get a pair of crutches someplace.
Yeah, I'll keep my eye open for a crutch store. I'm sure there's a lot of them on the freeway. Now, hold on to me, and let's hop over to the car. That's it. That's it. Now you got it. Okay. Now bend down and slide into the seat. You know what I mean? And tell me when it hurts.
That hurts.
All right, I got a good idea. Don't tell me when it hurts, because it's gonna hurt anyway. So when I count to 3, we'll do it all in one big move. 1, 2, 3!
Oh, God!
I like it hurts better.
Oh, God. Oh.
Got you some ice from the machine. It'll keep the swelling down.
I need something to put the ice in.
Put it in your sock. What am I, an orthopedic?
They say revenge is a dish best served cold, but I disagree. From some of the stories I've found on the web, the best revenge is served so hot it's downright nuclear. These aren't tales of funny, passive-aggressive sticky notes or cute pranks to teach people a lesson. These are stories of life-destroying vengeance and elaborate retribution, from devastating businesses to exposing cheaters in the most damning ways possible. So, grab your popcorn and put on your rad suit, because we're about to look at some tales of nuclear-level revenge. Kidney comeback. At some point, everyone with a sibling has found them annoying, but a select few can be downright evil, as a Reddit user by the name of Ryan sadly discovered. Ryan had a twin called Sebastian. As they were growing up, Sebastian bullied Ryan mercilessly. But because Sebastian was the favorite, their parents turned a blind eye to it all. Sebastian would put Ryan down, blame him for things, and have his friends pick on him. Already, Sebastian sounds like a super douche, but it was about to get much worse. When he was about 18, Ryan realized he was bisexual, but Ryan's parents were strict conservatives, so when he began dating a boy called Daniel, he had to keep it secret. Unfortunately, Sebastian spotted the two holding hands in public, and like the sad little snitch he was, he ran home to tell their parents. Not only were his parents mad, but Sebastian did everything in his power to convince them to kick Ryan out, and he succeeded. Homeless and cut off, Ryan was completely ostracized. Now we roll forward about 10 years. Ryan and Daniel are happily married, living a wonderful life, when Ryan gets a call from one of the few family members he's still in contact with. They're at the hospital and don't say much, but ask Ryan to get there as soon as possible. When he arrives, he's greeted by his parents, who, suspiciously, really pleased to see him, along with his brother, who's lying in a hospital bed. It turned out, having lived a damagingly excessive lifestyle, Sebastian needed a new kidney urgently. The waiting list for a new kidney was longer than he had left, but Ryan, being his identical twin, would be a perfect match. My God, after all the hell he put Ryan through, he just expected him to give him a kidney? Well, Ryan was done being taken advantage of, so he gave the most devastating answer possible, a simple no. Shocked, Sebastian called in their parents, who begged Ryan to reconsider. He brutally reminded them of all the times they'd said nothing when Sebastian hurt him, and they'd kicked him out of the house for being who he was. It was clear they didn't care for any part of him, including his kidney. After that, he simply turned around and left. Well, I don't think there's enough ice in the world to treat that burn. Hard to stomach. Oh, there is nothing worse than opening the work refrigerator only to discover someone has stolen your lunch. Not even a threatening post-it note can dissuade some of these food thieves. But for all the threats, some sandwich stealers learn the hard way that the lunch owners aren't joking around. Back in 2008, Reddit user Gustafsson was working in a call center, and a really crappy call center at that. The rules were super strict, there was no ventilation, and the pay was so bad that many people resorted to stealing little things. This apparently extended to staff lunches as well. It had gotten so bad that people would routinely spike some food with laxatives or bad milk to send a message, but not even that stopped the lunch thieves. That was until one day, Gustafsson heard that someone had put a box of food in the fridge with the label, "Do not eat rat poison inside." Thinking this was a joke, the lunch thief snuck in and gobbled down every last bite. It wasn't until later that afternoon when a woman suddenly collapsed on the ground, suffering from heavy internal bleeding, that they suddenly realized it hadn't been a joke. The unfortunate lunch thief was taken to the hospital and suffered long-term damage to her digestive tract, kidneys, and liver. While the culprit was never identified, I doubt that lady ever stole another lunch. Familial revenge. Never been to a big family gathering? And they can be the worst, especially if you're the butt of all the family jokes, like Reddit user Why Do You Read Names, who I'll call Max for this story, was. Now, one of Max's cousins, Randy, constantly picked on him and embarrassed him in front of everyone at family gatherings. Sadly, the rest of the family just watched this happen, never once telling Randy to back down or stop, even when he went too far. Randy seemed to have it all. Nice house, nice wife, nice kids, but still, he felt the need to pick on Max. Pretty sad for a grown man, don't you think? And so one day, when Max saw Randy in the street with his arms around a woman who definitely wasn't his wife, Max decided to get a better look with his camera. He took out his phone and got several pictures of the couple holding hands, hugging, smooching, tongues and all. Then he had all the photos printed out and waited patiently for the next inevitable family gathering. With everyone around the dinner table, Randy was about to start bullying Max again when suddenly Max dropped all the photos onto the table. The entire family, including Randy's wife and kids, slowly realized what they were looking at. And then all hell broke loose. There was screaming, fighting, crying, and Max was kicked out. But it was Randy who ended up paying the ultimate price. In the months that followed, Randy's wife divorced his ass. He lost custody of the kids, and just to add a cherry on top of this revenge Sunday, Max got married. Well, something tells me Randy wasn't invited. Car Wars. Revenge of the... Being a single parent is hard, no doubt about it. But when you're also on a limited income, things like rent and bills can really restrict your options, as Reddit user Galera1 will tell you. They were renting a small, old, drafty apartment. They were quite content and had no complaints until their nightmare neighbor moved in. He had a car he treated like his baby, which he'd made multiple modifications to. So many, the engine needed time to warm up. And so for 10 to 15 minutes every day, he'd let it run, releasing mega plumes of thick, nasty exhaust fumes. Now, Galera wouldn't have had an issue with this, but this guy was assigned a parking space right outside their 4-year-old's bedroom, and the fumes were making the kid feel sick. So, one day, Galera kindly asked if he could warm the car up somewhere else in the lot. At this, the driver went berserk, screaming at Galera, telling them he didn't care about the kid and that he wasn't going to move it. Shocked, Galera left. They knew an official complaint wouldn't go anywhere, and they didn't have the funds to move. So they began plotting on a budget. The next day, they bought a squeezy bottle of Gatorade and broke a couple of eggs into it. Then they happened across some fresh dog doo-doo, which they added in, and left the concoction out in the sun for a few days to mature. Finally, in the early hours of the morning, on a day that promised to be scorching hot, Galera took the Satan soup and snuck up to the car. Now, the car was old enough to have those little triangle vent windows, which the driver had left open. And so, Galera sprayed the contents of the bottle into the car, coating everything the vile liquid would reach. They then tossed the empty bottle, snuck back inside, and went to sleep. A few hours later, they were awoken by the sweet, harmonious cries of, "What the?" When Galera looked out, the driver was gagging next to his car, trying desperately to figure out where in his car the vomit-inducing smell was coming from. He grabbed a bucket of soap and water and began scrubbing the seats hard, and soon people began to gather around. Realizing there was no way to stop the stench, he grabbed a wrench and removed both the driver and passenger seats before heaving them into a dumpster. By now, a crowd of at least 30 people were stood staring and laughing, and in front of all of them, he then got in the car without a seat and drove away. Galera never saw the car again. Now that is how you put your revenge in gear. IR sucks to be you. If you want to hit a business where it really hurts, you call in the tax man to take a punt. Back in the early 2000s, fresh out of college, a Redditor called Fancy Cat 11 started a new job at a small drafting and design firm. While the pay seemed good, she soon realized she was also being used as the receptionist, office manager, file clerk, and even janitor. But despite being obviously overworked, she got on with it and never complained. However, just as the year's tax returns were due, her boss asked her to request a tax deadline extension for herself. He had a reasonable excuse, so she obliged. But when she asked him for an update a few weeks later, he asked her to request another deadline extension. Now, this was fishy. So fishy that Fancy went through the tax records herself and found the paperwork. It was all done, he just didn't want to sign off on it, so he could keep all her tax money in his account while making it look like she was the one failing to pay. Well, Fancy wasn't having any of this. So on Monday morning, she dropped her resignation letter on his desk and then proceeded to walk straight into the offices of the Internal Revenue Service, also known as the IRS. She gave them all the evidence she had against the guy, and it turned out, despite taking a tax cut from her pay, he'd never paid any taxes to the IRS under that business name. Oh, the IRS were not happy. But Fancy wasn't done there. She then proceeded to ring all his long-standing business partners, informing them that the IRS was about to go to town on his company, and that they might want to steer clear. After all, they didn't want the tax man investigating them by association, did they? After the IRS investigated the matter thoroughly, much to the dismay of the boss, the business started to fail. Hard. Whenever Fancy walked past, she noticed the entire office looked dirty and empty. A year later, it was closed for good. Moral of this story, don't screw your employees over and always pay your taxes. Tired of it. Don't you hate when someone parks in your spot? It's so annoying. Even more so in bad weather, as Reddit user Meltdown knows all too well. His girlfriend was coming over one snowy night, so he went down to the parking lot and spent an hour digging out a parking space specifically for her. He then left a little sign asking others not to park there as he dug it out by hand. But people are douchebags, and in a matter of minutes, some selfish driver had thrown the sign away and taken the spot. Cold and angry, Meltdown aptly had a meltdown. His girlfriend found another place to park and fell asleep in his apartment. And once she did, he grabbed a bottle of flammable liquid, crept down to the car, and proceeded to set all four tires on fire before slinking back upstairs. Within minutes, he could hear the noise of the tires bursting and exploding. The next morning, Meltdown took out the trash and surveyed the damage. And boy, was it ugly. While the overall structure was fine, the driver would need 4 new tires and a lot of cosmetic work to restore the car. Now that is what you call a full meltdown. Bug off. Kids can be the worst. They scream, they cry, they throw rocks at you, or at least they threw rocks at Reddit user Frumpy Fungus. At around the age of 11, he was looking after his little brother one Saturday afternoon when 2 kids knocked on his door, asking if he'd come out to play. He said no, but they kept ringing the bell. And when he didn't respond, they decided to throw rocks at his house. Typical kid logic. This kept happening for 2 more weeks, and when they cracked one of the windows on his house, Frumpy finally had enough. Little did these kids know, Frumpy was an avid ant farmer and had a small nest of fire ants. Yeah, as the name suggests, the bites from these things are incredibly spicy. So, Frumpy took the little glass farm over to the patch of rocks the kids usually used and dumped the ants all over them. Later that day, right on cue, he could hear the crack of rocks hitting the side of the house. But suddenly, the cracking stopped and was replaced by the crying of a few dumb kids. The ants were all over them. They ran back home like the babies they were. But they weren't done there. Instead of throwing rocks, the kids resorted to stealing toys out of Frumpy's yard. Unlucky for them, Frumpy owned more bugs and had the smarts to set up a trap. He filled an old book bag with Legos, dolls, all sorts of toys, and left it in his yard. Sure enough, a few hours later, it was gone. What the thieves didn't know was that Frumpy had dumped his entire termite farm in there as well. A few weeks later, and the kid's house was under a big old quarantine tent. I don't know if you've ever had to call the exterminators, but fumigating an entire house like this can cost thousands of dollars. Oh boy, I bet their parents were furious. Well, sometimes revenge smells sweet, but other times it smells like chemical fumes wafting down the street. Bad eggs. While kids can be bad, teenagers can be so much more annoying. For proof, we need only look at Reddit user Alaska Guy Index story. The teens in his neighborhood thought, with their adorably underdeveloped brains, that it would be really funny to repeatedly egg all the houses in the middle of winter. In the minus 15 degree Fahrenheit weather, the egg would freeze solid, and it'd be almost impossible to get off until spring. Sick of scraping eggs off the side of his house, Alaska Guy came up with a plan. He and his brother would layer up and wait on the roof of the house until the teens inevitably came round again. Only this time, they'd have paintball guns, so they'd get a taste of their own medicine. Just as they expected, the teens rolled up and were about to start yeeting eggs when Alaska Guy and his bro began firing. The teens ducked and dodged, but suddenly they were screaming and started running for their truck. Then, as they were hightailing it out of there, the rear window of their truck suddenly smashed. It wasn't until Alaska Guy was back inside that he realized the paintballs had frozen solid in their hoppers, so they'd been pelting the teens with balls as hard as rocks. Luckily, the police never came knocking, and unsurprisingly, the eager eggers never returned to that neighborhood. Serving attitude. Working as a food server is one of the most thankless jobs out there. Pay is bad, the hours are long, and the customers are rude. No wonder most can't wait till closing time. However, back in 2010, a Reddit user by the name of SpangyPH was closing up the pizzeria he was managing with his team when, all of a sudden, he heard yelling and crying from the front of the shop. A group of men had barged in, demanding to be served, and when the young serving girl at the front told them that they were closed, they screamed at her. Spangy came out, and despite telling them that, yes, they were closed, they claimed the customer was always right and refused to leave until they were served. Ooh, big Karen energy there. Tired and annoyed, Spanky told the staff to fire the ovens back up before taking the girl aside and comforting her. Then they got to making the food, with a few extra special ingredients. One of the staff reached into the grease trap and smeared a handful of nasty, filthy black grease onto the dough. The others started spitting, snotting, and even sprinkling a few downstairs hairs on there for good measure. Then they smothered it with a layer of tomato sauce, toppings, and served it to the rude crew like nothing was wrong. The team watched as the pathetic patrons smiled, thinking they'd won, while they guzzled down every last bite. Ugh. So remember, if you like food free of filth, don't be rude to the people serving it to you. The real tank girl. There are a lot of badass women in history, but for me, the baddest of them all has to be Maria Oktyabrskaya. Back in 1941, in the thick of World War II, fascist Germany betrayed the Soviet Union. Breaking a treaty of non-aggression, Germany attacked the Soviet city of Kiev, killing thousands of Soviet soldiers, one of which was Ilya Oktyabrský, Mariah's husband. This news would be enough to send most people into a breakdown, but not Mariah. Oh no, she was going to break even. Grieving and enraged, Mariah sold everything she owned and used the money to buy a T-32 tank. But instead of donating the tank to the army, she sent a letter to the top man in charge, Joseph Stalin, explaining she wanted to pilot the tank to take revenge. Stalin was so impressed by her gusto, he gave her the go-ahead, and even granted her request that the tank be called Fighting Girlfriend. After 5 months of training as a tank driver, mechanic, Mariah was ready. But she was ridiculed by her comrades and seen as something of a joke. However, this just fueled Mariah's need for revenge even further. So much so that in her very first tank battle in 1943, Fighting Girlfriend was the first tank to breach enemy lines. She lay waste to a German artillery gun and mowed down more than 50 enemy soldiers in her way. And she was just getting started. Her slaughtering spree lasted for just over a year, when, just like her husband, she was killed in battle. But by that point, she'd gotten her revenge, and made the fascists regret ever messing with a Soviet woman. Burning bush. Doing work for a family member sometimes means they'll ask for the famous family discount. But there's a big difference between a discount and refusing to pay, as Reddit user Boss Necromancer discovered. He'd done 4 weeks of back-breaking yard work for his auntie, who'd promised to pay him some $200 a week. However, when he went to collect, his auntie said she was using the full family discount and straight up refused to pay him. What was he going to do? Take back the work he'd done? She clearly thought she'd won. That was until, at midnight that night, she woke up to find her entire garden had been set on fire. And while she couldn't prove it was Oz Necromancer, she knew. And he knew. Yes, you could call that the scorched earth tactic. Trick or cheat. There's nothing that breaks your heart quite like being cheated on. Trust me, I know. But luckily, stories of cheaters getting their just desserts helps fill the void more than ice cream and chick flicks. And one such story that really hits the spot was left by a throwaway Reddit account, who I'll refer to as Elon. Elon was on social media one day when he realized he'd stumbled onto the secret account of his best friend's wife. She was flirting with one of the other friends, and it was pretty obvious they'd been getting busy together, if you catch my drift. Elon immediately told his best friend, who I'll call Jeff, and naturally, the guy was crushed. After stewing on the information for a few weeks, he asked Elon not to say a word about what he knew. Elon promised he wouldn't, and from then on, every time he saw Jeff and his wife, the couple seemed perfectly happy and like nothing was wrong. But 9 months later, it all changed. Out of the blue, Jeff revealed he had a gambling addiction. He'd lost everything. He'd sold their cars and leased new ones, losing all the money to gambling. All of their savings, 401 retirement earnings, every last penny was gone. She immediately filed for divorce. No alimony was owed, and so the entire thing was finalized without him ever mentioning her cheating. And because all the money was gone, all she was able to claim were some bits of furniture, along with a few pots and pans. Little did she know, however, Jeff's gambling addiction was a complete fabrication. Yeah, he'd stashed all the cash in secret accounts, made up the lie, and because she assumed the money was just gone, he got her to leave without giving her a cent. Oh man. Some might call that sneaky, but I call it the cheater tax. Getting the itch. Because I'm clearly still very bitter about being cheated on, it's time to reveal a story of God-tier cheater revenge, enacted by a Reddit user I'll call Dose, from more than 15 years ago. Dose married his childhood sweetheart, and while he went on to pursue a master's in engineering, she was finishing a doctorate in anthropology. Over the summer, she was given the opportunity to earn some extra money as an aide on a 6-week trip to Jamaica. While Dose knew he'd miss her, he supported her completely and went as far as to do extra work while she was away to financially match what she was making. But after the trip, one of the other students told Dose that his wife and their professor had been hooking up all over the island. At first, Dose didn't believe this. He'd met the professor. Heck, he'd invited him into their home for barbecue and beers. But one evening, he broke down and checked her emails. Not only were they sleeping together in his bed, but they were mocking Dose in email after email for not knowing about it. Dose was crushed. For several weeks he said nothing, and soon began noticing that studying late was clearly code for being with the professor. He felt so stupid. But then he decided to do something about it. Now, one thing he and his wife did do was make their own personal lubricant, which they seasoned with devil's lettuce, if you know what I mean. Figuring his wife and the professor were making liberal use of the lube, he decided to season a new batch with a little extra something something, poison ivy. A few days later, she left for a late-night study group. When she got back and hit up the shower, Dose changed the contact information in her phone, swapping his name for the professor's. The next morning, she thought she was texting the professor, but it was Dose that received a message reading, "I'm super itchy. Are you okay?" Dose, who was downstairs making breakfast, replied as the professor, "I'm sorry, but I've got herpes, and I guess you do now too." He then continued that he was interested in a new, younger assistant of his, so they needed to break it off. Suddenly, she stormed downstairs and angrily started eating breakfast before making an excuse and dashing out the door. Dose took this opportunity to open her laptop, delete her entire thesis, then slyly follow her. She ended up, to no one's surprise, at the professor's office, where she stormed in and demanded to see him that instant. When Dose entered his office, she was crying and screaming at the professor in front of all his staff for giving her herpes. Ooh, I bet that professor was as confused as he was embarrassed. But this was only the beginning of the fallout. Obviously, Dose filed for divorce, getting the majority of the assets thanks to his ex-wife's very public admittance to being unfaithful. The professor was kicked out of the university for breaking the code of conduct and could never find a job beyond teaching in a high school. Oh, and the ex-wife never got her doctorate, though she did get well and truly schooled in the art of revenge. Which of these revenge stories do you think went the furthest? And which would you have paid good money to watch in person? Let me know down in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Revenge rarely solves your problems, but boy does it feel good to get your own back. You want to steal my lunch? Then enjoy the sick burn I'm about to leave on this sticky note. Except not all revenge is plotted equally. While I'm a huge fan of passive-aggressive messages, they don't compare to getting someone arrested, costing them millions of dollars, or leveling their entire life with a single revelation. With that said, put those sticky notes and witty quips away, because we're about to take a look at even more tales of revenge that wreaked nuclear levels of destruction. Major breakdown. Car mechanics don't have it easy. When they're not trying to work out how you poured wiper fluid in your oil fill pour for the 48th time, I'm so sorry, Bob. They have to deal with some deplorable customers, like this Reddit user's father did. Back in the early 2000s, this mechanic ran his own independent repair shop. One day, a man came in with an expensive-looking convertible, which needed its transmission fixed. It took a while to remove, disassemble, fix, and reassemble, but our mechanic got the job done. However, when it came time to pay up, Mr. Convertible suddenly couldn't afford it. He said he could pay half now and the other half in a week or so. Now, being a stand-up guy in a small town, our mechanic agreed. But a few weeks go by, and Mr. Convertible is nowhere to be seen. After 2 months, our mechanic called him and asked when he'd be paying the rest of his bill. And here's the kicker. Mr. Convertible simply said he wouldn't be paying. There was nothing wrong with the repairs, but now that he had the car, he just didn't see why he should pay the rest. At first, our mechanic got mad, but then he decided to make an example out of Mr. Convertible. He called up a towing company, told them the situation, and explained that under state law, he had a mechanic's lien on the vehicle, which is the legal right to sell it for compensation of unpaid debt. The rules of this vary from state to state in America, but our mechanic was able to get the tow company to pick up the convertible and take it away. To his shop? Oh no, to the local recycling center. The car was crushed, scrapped, and the remnants sold to the center, making our mechanic his money back before Mr. Convertible could do anything. Obviously, he was furious and turned up to the repair shop with the state patrol the next day. However, after our mechanic explained the circumstances of the lien, the troopers declared it a civil matter, not a criminal one. And when Mr. Convertible tried to sue our mechanic, the judge dismissed the case. Moral of the story, pay your mechanics, unless you prefer your car scrap metal shaped. Oh, brother. We all know that one person who has a habit of making someone else's special day all about them. Your birthday party? Well, they just got a promotion. Your big announcement? Well, they just bought a new car. Now don't worry though, you're not alone. One Reddit user, who we'll call Ben, had a younger brother called Todd, who just had to be the center of attention no matter the occasion. So much so that at their sister's baby shower, Todd and his girlfriend announced they were expecting. Like, come on, man, hold your own event. But he wasn't done there. The day before Ben's wedding, a receipt for an expensive ring fell out of Todd's pocket. It was clear he was planning to propose to his girlfriend during Ben's special day. Ben kicked him from the groom's party, but Todd started crying about how unfair it was, and that he would never propose during someone else's wedding. So Ben allowed him to come to the wedding as a guest, but warned him if he tried anything, he'd regret it. Sure enough, during his new wife's dad-daughter dance, Todd got down on one knee and proposed to his girlfriend in sight of everyone. But Ben wasn't angry. In fact, he was excited. Because, as Todd was stealing the spotlight, a heavily pregnant guest walked over and began to make a scene. She was screaming at Todd for lying to her, crying and claiming she was pregnant with his baby. She even called his phone, proving they'd been in contact. Distraught, Todd's girlfriend flung the ring down and left in tears. Ben was also in tears. From laughing. With the green light from his soon-to-be wife, he'd hired a woman to pretend to be Todd's side piece, asked her to be at the wedding and to act out if she saw him make the move to propose. Ben had even given her his number to make it convincing. And it was so convincing that Todd's girlfriend threw him out. Well, we can only hope that after all that, Todd figured out that he is not, in fact, life's main character. A dish best served ice cold. Have you ever been cheated on? Nothing hurts quite like it, trust me. But stories like those from Reddit user Kermit Defrog are a tonic for anyone who's ever had their heart broken. Kermit was married to his high school sweetheart, Sue, for 23 years. With 2 grown kids together, a nice house, cars, and dream vacations, they were living the American dream. But while Kermit was recovering from knee surgery, Sue began acting differently. She'd started working late, wasn't as affectionate, and changed the passwords on all her devices. Initially, Kermit didn't suspect anything, but as he was scrolling through social media, he saw a picture of Sue with a male coworker who she seemed close with. Very close. What was weird, though, was that despite having never met him, he blocked Kermit. Now he was suspicious. Using his family data plan, he downloaded an app that displayed all text messages being sent and received on all connected devices, one of them being Sue's phone. And that's when his heart sank. Sue was sending lovey-dovey messages and a lot of, shall we say, incriminating photos to this guy. For 3 days, Kermit processed the information. But on the 4th day, he began plotting his exit strategy and his revenge. Now recovered from his surgery, he began acting the same way Sue had been, pulling long hours at work, being cold and distant, changing passwords on his devices. It wasn't long before Sue noticed, recognizing all the telltale signs of a partner having an affair. Eventually, she had the audacity to confront him, accusing him of cheating. He laughed in her face for a full 2 minutes, because despite his actions, she couldn't prove anything, and Kermit was bluffing. He'd been acting that way purely to make her paranoid. All the while, he was gathering evidence, making sure he was financially independent from her, stealthily moving his possessions out of their house, and shopping around for a new apartment, all without Sue knowing. For 5 long months, he acted aloof and cool, but Sue started to crack. In texts to her lover, Kermit could see she was getting cold feet, claiming she still loved Kermit, and that his affair must be some sort of karma for her own actions. Oh, she had no idea. Eventually, she ditched her lover, explaining to him in text messages she wanted to win Kermit back. But Kermit couldn't have cared less. His plan was almost complete. At the start of December, he let both of his kids know what their mother had been up to and what he planned to do, but asked them not to say anything. While upset, they both supported their dad. And so Kermit enacted his pièce de résistance. Early on Christmas morning, while Sue slept, he left a thick, printed binder full of messages she'd been sending to her lover over the past 8 months on his pillow, along with his lawyer's card and a note reading, "Merry Christmas." Savage. But that's not all. The binder was just one of 14 he'd sent out to all her friends, family, oh, and her place of work. With that, he ghosted her. Over the next 2 weeks, Sue's life imploded. Her family and friends turned their back on her. Kermit was granted an uncontested divorce, and while he left her the house, he got their cabin in the woods and had slowly drained their joint accounts so that she couldn't claim a dime from him. And to add a cherry on top, both Sue and her lover were placed on administrative leave and fired soon after for breaching their rules about interwork relationships. Wow. Well, if I'm ever cheated on again, I know who I'm calling to help me plot my revenge. Park cold. When it comes to tales of revenge, it's always the ones that revolve around parking disputes that go the extra mile. Case in point, Reddit user Bright Rick has a parking revenge story that was served ice cold. Back in the early 2000s, Rick's family owned two apartment complexes out in the Chicago suburbs. They lived in some of the apartments, rented out the others, and owned a parking lot with a space for about 16 cars, more than enough for them and their tenants. But one day, cars started parking in the lot that didn't belong to them or their tenants. Rick blocked one of the cars in and called a tow company, when suddenly the owner came around and drove off over Rick's yard and bushes. Annoyed, Rick hired a local tow company and had them put up signs warning people that any car without a parking permit would be towed, and left it at that. But then, one freezing New Year's Eve, Rick arrived home to find every single space in the lot filled with cars that didn't belong to his family or tenants. There were so many cars that they were spilling out of the lot and lining the roads, blocking all the entrances to Rick's building. Someone was having a party, but he checked, and it was none of his residents. He rang the tow company, but they were too busy. So he decided to take matters into his own hands. He quickly gathered up three of his lawn sprinklers, attached them to his laundry room faucets, and ran hot water through them. Being below 0 degrees out, the hot water stopped the hoses from freezing up, but once the water hit the cars and the sidewalks, thick layers of ice began to form. He moved each of the sprinklers every half hour or so, making sure the ice would get in between the window seals, handles, even the locks. Once every car was completely coated in a solid layer of ice, Rick packed everything up and went to bed. At 4 a.m., Rick was woken up by a group of very cold-looking people furiously pounding on his door and ringing his doorbell. They couldn't get into their cars for all the ice. Apparently, all these people had been told to park here by their friend who owned a building several blocks away. The very same guy who'd run over Rick's yard earlier that year. Rick just smiled and pointed out all the signs, telling them to move their cars or get towed, knowing full well they couldn't get into them. The cops showed up shortly after, laughing at the entire situation, before, with Rick's consent, ticketing every single illegally parked car, which were then all towed. What a way to bring in the new year. A business transition. In-laws. Some are good, some are bad, and some are downright rotten, as Reddit user LivingBunch6371 discovered. Some time ago, at just 18 years old, Living Bunch's sister-in-law came out as a trans woman. Like the loving, caring people they clearly were, her parents immediately threw her out. They denied her access to the car they bought her and her money, which was in their joint account. So, late at night, she had to walk 8 miles to reach Living Bunch's house. Stunned, Living Bunch's husband tried to talk to their staunchly conservative parents, but they were resolute. Their now daughter was not welcome in their home because of who she was, and all her possessions, including cash she'd earned working at a part-time job, were theirs now. This didn't sit well with Living Bunch, who loved her sister-in-law regardless of who she was. She and her husband wanted to cut all ties with the in-laws, which suddenly gave her an idea. Her father-in-law was a small business owner, and his biggest account just so happened to be with Living Bunch's employer. She told her boss what happened, and after mulling on it, he agreed that if she could find another supplier offering a similar rate to her father-in-law, he'd close their account. This is where it got tough. Her father-in-law offered a great rate that was practically impossible to beat. But Living Bunch looked down every avenue she could, and eventually, 6 months later, she found a different company offering a similar rate. During this time, her father-in-law had begun major renovations on the family house. So to make sure this sudden loss of income would hit hardest, she waited an extra month when his renovations were well and truly underway, before informing her boss. Another month later, and the father-in-law's business was suddenly rushed. He had to scramble to find new clients and ended up having to sell the house to keep his business afloat. But because it was halfway renovated, it didn't sell for much. It got so bad, both in-laws resorted to begging for money from other family members. But after the barbaric treatment of their own child, all of them resolutely said no. 8 years down the line, and they're still clawing their way out of the karmic mess they got themselves into. And to top it off, Living Bunch's sister-in-law is thriving now. Pretty ironic that if the in-laws hadn't kicked her out, they might still have a house. Read the room. Nothing starts a family argument like the topic of inheritance. Seriously, if you want to cut Christmas short, just ask who's getting the lion's share of your relatives' possessions when they pass, and watch the entire day go up in flames. It's such a huge topic of contention that Reddit user 327Nova was able to use it for some absolutely god-tier revenge several years ago. Nova had a greedy, manipulative, money-hungry cousin who leaned on their wealthy grandparents for every little thing. But Nova didn't care about the money. They just loved their grandparents and wanted to spend time with them. So, when their grandma passed away, Nova moved in with their grandpa to help take care of him. Nova's cousin didn't like this one bit, assuming they were trying to curry favor and steal the lion's share of the inheritance. One day, Nova came home to discover that one of their cousin's children had apparently found a loaded gun and was playing with it. A gun Nova's grandpa had entrusted to them. Nova knew their gun safety and swore they'd never leave a gun just lying around, let alone one that was loaded. While their grandpa believed them, they asked Nova to move out until things had calmed down. Suddenly, it all made sense. Nova's cousin had framed them to get them out of the way, all in hopes of getting closer to their grandpa's wallet. Nova worked on fixing their relationship with their grandpa, but a month later, he sadly passed away. Nova was devastated. After the funeral, the will was read out, and that's when Nova noticed some very specific wording. It was complex, but it boiled down to, if anyone tries to claim more than they've been given, they get nothing. Suddenly, Nova had the perfect idea for a revenge trap. Later that day, they rang their cousin and casually mentioned all of their grandma's jewelry would be donated to a charity auction. Unable to resist, the cousin immediately drove over to their grandparents' house and began filling shoeboxes with all the jewelry they could get their hands on, hoping no one would miss it before it was donated. As they were doing so, Nova's father and the family lawyer walked into the house to do some final admin, catching the cousin red-handed trying to make off with 4 shoeboxes stuffed full of jewelry. Nova knew the lawyer was scheduled to visit that day and baited the trap so the cousin would show up at the most incriminating moment. Thanks to his own greed, the cousin never received a single penny of the inheritance. I don't know how much Nova was left, but that story is priceless. Disability blowout. There's a special circle of hell for people who use disabled parking bays when they themselves aren't disabled. What? You think the disabled community doesn't have it hard enough already? Well, back in the early 90s, the father of Reddit user Drumhead was a disabled Florida resident who got their own back in style. They pulled up to their local store and were about to park in the handicap bay when a woman in a bright pink-red Porsche shot into it. He rolled down his window and told